Okay, so I've been working at this job that I'm working at the moment as a tax accountant in Oxford. I've been doing it for about 4 months now, and it's my first proper job where I'm paid, a salary. I'm not paid shit, per hour. It's a salary, and yeah, it's quite exciting because it's the first time I'm paid like a solid amount of money every month. And this has been a really new experience for me because I've suddenly been it's just a real opportunity to invest my money in a way that I haven't really before. I've just had like a monthly budget of, how much, and it's like, okay, I can do whatever the fuck I like with this money. And it's weird because I guess I've had been at uni, and you have student loan and job or whatever else. And I've worked jobs before or whatever. But there's something about, I don't know, just having a 9 to 5 and having that sort of financial independence as such, where you're suddenly it's just very liberating, and it's a real sort of mindset shift, and it's quite exciting. And I've really used this opportunity to just explore what is the best way to use this money productively. That's really been a question that I've been quite concerned with, and I've been quite concerned with spending it productively and not just pissing it away on mindless things. So I'm just going to move this because it's a bit better. Not just pissing it away on mindless things, spending it with a bit of intention, because I believe that there are two things that are really going to set you apart from other people. First is what you spend your time on, and three things, I guess. What you spend your time on, what you focus on, how much you focus on it, and how you spend your money. And if you have a bit of capital to be able to invest that in the right things, sets you apart hugely, because it shows what you're serious about. Money talks. Let's say you want to start a YouTube account. If you spend a third of your paycheck, a third of your disposable income on stuff that's going to make a better video, then that's going to massively set you apart from the guy who in his bedroom who's doesn't have any willingness to do that, to have the balls to invest in that. It really sets you apart, and it shows you that you're something different, that you're willing to delay gratification. You don't know if that money you've spent, you're going to see it again, or that you're even going to get anything approximating something worthwhile as a result. You're not sure if the video that you're going to make is going to be good, or it's going to go ahead, or something's going to go wrong. There's so many unknowns. But if you go ahead and do it and it works, it sets you apart hugely. It's a huge advantage. So anyway, yeah, I've really taken it very seriously, this money that I have. And I've been quite willing to take financial risks, just to see what happens and to see how far I can push it. How much is a sensible amount to spend on your side hustles or other things. I've got another video where I talk more in depth about what I want to invest in, but your health or your social life or whatever you want to improve. How much is a sensible amount to invest in those things? I do see them as investments, or how much do you go, no, that's actually too much, let's stop. And so far, the past few months, I've generally gotten away with it. I've been able to spend money on, I've got this other YouTube channel where I do vlogs, so travel vlogging and stuff like that. That's kind of my biggest focus at the moment. And you know, I've been able to spend money going to places that I want to film, and I've still managed to like pay my rent and, you know, cook and stuff like that. Like, it's generally been fine. But I think this month I've begun to see, I've gotten quite close to the tipping point where I've actually invested too much money in stuff, and I've sailed a little bit too close to the sun. And in a sense, this is a bad thing because, you know, it's you know, it's, I don't know, it's not good to be in a position where you feel like you spent too much money, but it's also a good thing because it means you know the tipping point. Like, I feel like I recognise what the tipping point is now. Like, I know where's too much. At the beginning of this month, I had a bunch of things that I wanted to spend money on. Like, I wanted to spend money on this coaching program that was going to help me generate online income, and at the same time, like, I really wanted to film this video in Belgium, because there's one town in Belgium called Charleroi, and it's famously meant to be like the most ugly town in Europe. And the kind of YouTube videos I make, they're kind of this sort of niche of like weird. It's not kind of like aesthetic travel vlogging. It's kind of quite weird, off the beaten track places like that. And I'd wanted to do this for so long. I just thought this place would be perfect. And a little bit of me was like, oh no, I should just do a smaller scale one. Like, I was thinking of going to Wales, wait a month to do the Belgian one. But there was just something in me that was like, no, I've got to do this Belgian one now. You know, it's just the right time. And I had a look at like the flights, and they're actually quite cheap. And I was really sort of indecisive about it. But you know, I had this other expense of this coaching and stuff. There's a little bit of me that was just like, you'll just work it out, man. Just fuck it. Like, give it a try. And I thought quite hard about it, and I did a bunch of journaling about how to budget for the week and stuff like that. And in the end, I did it. In the end, I went for it. And it is funny because things do often work out. Like, things do work out, yeah. But it was very close this month. It's been very close. And when I went to Belgium, there was a lot that I couldn't do because I was on a tight budget. And I did kind of think, like, in retrospect, it's a tricky one because I was there, if you like, on business. You know, I was there to film a video, to make content. But in another sense, like, it was a shame that I had to be on such a tight budget while I was there. And I think that you could play this game forever, right? But in a sense, I think it did reflect on the quality of the experience. And in some sense, that might have brushed off onto the video itself. The fact that I was slightly limited in what I could do. I was slightly always thinking, oh, can I afford this? Can I afford that? You know, I couldn't wake up and just say, oh, let's go and have a nice coffee and get to know the atmosphere of the place, and, you know, really do those small little things like that without any worries. You know, I was always slightly thinking, oh, what's the cheapest way I can spend the day? And I think, yeah, it would have been better if I wasn't like that, you know. And yeah. Anyway, like I say, like I've managed to make it to the end of this month, and I'm fairly home and dry. But I don't, like, next month I want to be more safe with my investments, and sail a little bit further away from the sun. Just, I do feel like I'm getting to the point where, with what I'm spending money on, where it's actually too much, where I actually am like this is not sustainable. And there are a few reasons why this is. The first thing is, like, when I was doing this budgeting for this month and stuff like that, I thought to myself, like, the worst case scenario, I can always just buy like a bag of rice and some chicken and freeze it, and live for like just that'll be my whole week's meal. I can literally just eat for like £10 a week. That's easy. And it is good to be able to know that you can do that. You know that you can just spend money on some rice and chicken and boom, like, just bulk buy everything, pre-cook everything, and then you're not spending money on foods out and, going down to the corner shop to buy some food and stuff like that. It's good to be able to know that you can do that. But what I've recognised is that's not actually what gets you when you're budgeting. Like, okay, if you've got no self-control, then yeah, that will get you. But if you have the self-control to pre-plan everything and like cook all your meals and stuff like that, that's fine. But the thing that will get you with budgeting is those little costs. Those things like for example, when I went to Belgium, I missed my bus from Brussels to Charleroi, and I ended up having to get a taxi there. Like, I had no choice, and that was like £100 gone. Like, what else was I going to do? Spend the night in Brussels, like, buy some last minute hotel that was going to cost me the same amount. And in a sense, like, I should have been more organised with the bus that I was getting and stuff like that. But in another sense, like, that stuff's going to happen when you're abroad and you're travelling. Like, you need to have the budget for stuff like that could go wrong, And it's perfectly reasonable. I got off the bus, I got off the plane, and, one thing happened and I didn't manage to make the bus in time, and I had to spend money on a taxi. That's going to happen. I can't. I've got to expect stuff like that to happen, or a bill comes in, or in the house. It's like, oh, I owe someone some money because one of my housemates has paid for the water bill or something like that, or just something happens where you need a bit of money. That's the stuff that gets you, and it's really boring advice. Like, I really hate that I'm saying this, but I just recognise that what I really need to do in the short term is just build up some kind of buffer zone between, like, just so that I have like that worst case scenario money. Just for things like that. Things like this, like, if I were to go abroad again, I have just £100 that I could spend on like a transport just to get me somewhere, or like a bill comes in, I can just pay it straight off. And this buffer zone is not so much that it's like difficult to it's going to take me miles away from other things that I want to do, but it's not so small that it's just going to disappear at the first hurdle. And it's an amount that I actually take it seriously, and I think that amount is about £500. I think if I can find £500 just to put aside consistently and only use it for those what I deem as like an emergency, that would be very empowering. And long term, I think that's what I need to do. Just have some kind of emergency money, and that is just power. Money is power, and that will be so empowering to, in a few more weeks' time, if I need to make another bold financial purchase, I'll just be able to be like, well, I've got money that I'm sitting on that is not going anywhere, and worse, if worse comes to worse, I can always dip into that. Now obviously it's a difficult thing because, like, you got to be quite selective about what is worthy dipping in for it and what isn't. And there's that kind of, I've got to think that through quite carefully. But in principle, I think that's a good rule to set for myself, that I should have some kind of buffer zone. And yeah, that's really what I've recognised, that it's not those. It's good to be able to budget like that, and just I'm quite happy to go very extreme with this stuff, like really just spend lots really minimize spending on stuff that you're not focusing on as much as you can, and then just go ham on something really big. I think it's an exciting way to live, and I like it. But it's so much better if you have some kind of buffer zone, just to protect you for emergencies. And so yeah, like, I'm feeling good about investing for the next month. Like, the thing is, I always knew there was going to be a point where it was too far, where I had pushed it too far, but I refused to take other people's word for it. Like, I had to find out for myself, what is the point where I'm spending too much money on these things. So I know for myself, because I feel like it's difficult. It's really difficult to like learn. Some lessons you have to learn for yourself. You have to really see for yourself, like, what point is too much. No one else can really tell you that. And in a sense, like, you know, I've overspent this month. But in another sense, I'm like, this is good, because now I know where it is, where that point in the sand is, and I always knew that I was going to get to it at some point. So that's good news, and I'm looking forward to next month, because this month I'm going to take a very different approach. So far, pretty much every month that I've been at this job, I've invested some kind of money into this other YouTube channel that I have, where I'm doing vlogs. So whether that's been going to like Belgium as an example, or going to Milton Keynes is one I did one in Cornwall, you know. I've had one thing that I've invested money into. Next month I'm going to switch it completely, where I'm not actually going to spend any money really on creative endeavours, on business, if you want to use that term, you know, these kind of creative endeavours. I'm going to focus more on health and lifestyle. I'm going to spend more money on food. You know, this month I've spent very little money on like food, or like that has been a priority for me. I haven't really focused on buying good foods or putting aside money for good food. I've just bought like cheap food and just ate that as sustenance. Excuse me. But this next month is going to be the opposite. I'm going to focus very heavily on food and just eating like really good food that makes me feel good. You know, really experiment. You know, I want to try some of these more esoteric diets like the carnivore diet and stuff like that, and just see how I feel on them. And yeah, it's very exciting to try it, and it's going to be nice to compare, because I feel like before this month I was just spending money quite randomly. You know, I'd spend a bit of money on health, a bit of money on business, a bit of money on, you know, social life, just kind of whatever. And this month now I've decided, from taking this trip to Belgium and having this coaching and whatever, I've just gone very extreme on just spending money on business, and I've decided to take the sacrifice on health. And this month I'm going to do the opposite. You know, I'm just going to spend money on health. So it's going to be nice to compare and actually see like which is the more worthwhile in investing in. Is it health? Is it business? And the reason I'm doing this is because I've got like quite a good backlog of stuff that I haven't edited. Like I'm still editing the video from Milton Keynes. I've edited a bit of the video from Cornwall, but I've got a lot that I still haven't edited. And now I've got this Belgian video that I've got to edit as well. So I've got like plenty of stuff to keep me busy and like feel productive doing, you know, moving in that direction of doing it. So I don't need to spend money on business this month, because I've got this stuff to do. I've got these videos to edit. And so in the meantime, like, great, I can put this money to work in other things. And the thing that I'm going to focus on, like I say, is health. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. And yeah. One other thing that I've thought quite a lot about is what should I prioritize in terms of health? You know, should I prioritize diet? Should I prioritize kind of my environment? You know, I've got all these weird things. I've got an air filter in my room. I've been looking into getting like a better Hoover, because the Hoover we have in the house isn't very good. You know, and like I was just trying to think, like, what is if I had to just do one purchase for this month, like what would it be? And just really thinking about these questions and really scrutinizing it. And like I say, you know, I've kind of worked out that there is a point where it's too reckless, where I can be, I'm sort of, that is too much spending. So I'm sort of trying to just get before that point now. Like, now that I know where it is, just trying to hit it in that safe zone. And yeah, just trying to really work out like what is the best return on investment. You know, and it's a really interesting question. It's really fun to be doing it, and yeah, I'm really excited for the week ahead. And I'll probably do another video in a month's time, just talking a bit more about that, kind of lessons that I've learned from that as well. But yeah, that's basically it. Hopefully you guys got something away from this. Like, I really find investing your money, like how you choose to invest your money, a really fascinating topic. And yeah, it's good fun. I think you really can do a lot if you spend your money with intention in the right way. And yeah, thanks for watching as always. It's been a pleasure. And if you click the top link, I'm doing some coaching at the moment, so it'd be great to hear from you if you're interested in sort of finding your purpose, getting more direction in your life, you know, these kind of self-improvement topics. So just click the top link in the description. It'd be great to hear from you. And apart from that, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.